Of course, there are, lah, right? Financial, technical expertise. You may have the practical knowledge about it, but the technical expertise of how to protect it may not be there. Okay, so you do need to work with stakeholders, right? You need to work with other. So what are these other stakeholders we're talking about? It could be the government, it could be the international organizations, it could be the business owners itself. Okay. One other problem is when you're looking at community, right? They're also human, right? So what will they prioritize? The reason why they want to do this is probably they don't want to do what they were originally doing, which is some form of agriculture, something that's more tiring and less profit driven. So their concern is going to be money still. Okay, so you can call them sellouts, you can call them people who betray their own roots and sell out their own area, but money talks. Okay, money talks. So if they are not able to see long term profit in terms of if I earn less money now, I can continue earning this money for like 15 generations, as opposed to I earn a lot of money now and then by the time my kid is an adult, this area this is completely destroyed, so tourism dies. Then my kid is now without a job. Okay, if they're not able to see the long term versus short term and they only value the short term gain, then it's a tough journey. Okay, right? Effectiveness, genuine interest, right? Of tourists, right? Tourists are actually the worst people, right? Because they have limited time there, so they will not normally be able to see the impact of their actions on the environment they're in. Okay, so as a result, what they want to see or what they want to do is something that will maximize the pleasure on that they experience from this location in that limited amount of time. Okay, but of course, if they develop genuine interest in the area, in the form of trying to enhance the culture, the environment, and the economy, then these are all great. Okay, these are all great, right? How can they do it? Responsible interaction. Okay, that's it, right? Interact with the environment responsibly. Don't litter. Don't try to remove every single life form they can see. Don't try to bring every single piece of rock from the pyramids home, right? When you travel, respect the environment, respect the people, and then you will be able to positively impact the growth of sustainable tourism. Okay, so Tiger Top's Elephant Camp, right? Yeah, this is actually the website tigertops.com, right? If you go in, you will see that this is actually not a tiger enclosure. This is an elephant farm, right? But how is this different from the thousands of hundreds and hundreds of not thousands, yeah, hundreds and hundreds of uh, elephant conservation sites we have in Thailand as well as in India? The difference is they are sustainable, right? So they will rechannel the earnings back into the conservation of tigers as well as elephants, and they will not let you go on the horrible things that victimize the elephants that are in their camp, right? So you cannot ride on the elephant, you cannot feed the elephant. Probably you can, but they're not like a zoo, okay? So they are in a more sustainable manner trying to conserve the ecology and the environment, right? So Tiger Top Camp is one of the examples that's highlighted. I cannot find a video, neither can HQ, so there's no video for this, but you can visit the website and see how you can make a booking for it, what are the rates, how expensive this is, okay, and what the experience is like actually. You will realize that it's a non-intrusive experience, unlike many of the other less environmentally sustainable focused ones, right? This is really largely more sustainable, yeah, for lack of a better word, more sustainable. Okay. The other thing that you can do is, of course, respect culture, lah. Right. So this report that you see here, from an Australian newspaper, right? Why Australian? Because Bali used to be filled with either Japanese or Australian tourists. Okay. When it's in June, you will find Japanese tourists. So you will find Australian tourists. When it's December, you find Japanese tourists because they just go to Bali to surf. Reason being, it's too cold to surf back home. So December, the Japanese come surfing. In June, it's too cold in Australia. Australians come surfing. So when they arrive and they wear the bikinis, right, this was a big problem initially for the Balinese population, right? So respecting local culture, respecting the fact that this what you wear, what you say, how you interact, may not exactly be the best thing for that local population there. Okay. Once again, limitations to tourist actions. The tourists, right? Number one, besides them needing to want to care for the environment they are interacting in, Cost is another problem. Budget, cost and budget, right? They must be able to afford these sustainable options. Because sustainability comes at a price, okay? Normally because you have limited numbers, okay, the pricing tends to be more expensive, right? Next, information. How different is Tiger Talks from the any other of the hundreds of elephant enclosure, elephant conservation sites that you camps that you have out there, right? How would a tourist be able to make a choice based on the website itself? Okay, because I don't think you will do a pilot survey. I don't think you will do a recce trip to three or four and then decide, okay, then I'm going to pick you, right? So, what are your information sources? Will you be able to tell whether the that particular location you're going to is has enough of a sustainability slant? Will you? Right? If you can't, you don't have information, you may just not be able to make a clear choice. Okay? So these are the general challenges that stakeholders will face. All right. So what are some of these challenges that stakeholders will face? Sustainable tourism. What is your understanding of it? Right? What is the understanding of the next person of it? Okay, because the sustainable tourism isn't isn't one clear definition, right? It's a spectrum of practices of which different tourist practices in different locations fall in. So it can be a tough thing to nail down, right? And this can lead to a conflict of ideas between the stakeholders themselves, right? Maybe like when you talk about using ICT in your teaching and learning, to some people the using of PowerPoint, except PowerPoint slides is using ICT. To some of you may be thinking, oh, then maybe if the teacher uses PowerPoint slides, don't write on the board all the time, and he uses Kahoot as ICT. So if I use PowerPoint, I don't use Kahoot, then it's not ICT already, right? But what is your benchmark of that? So my idea of it and your idea of it may be different. Okay, so this becomes a problem when you're dealing with it. Okay, next, the resources. Every stakeholder in the group of five, right, each have a different amount of control over the resources. Okay, some have more say over what is finally taken to be done. Right, for example, the government may have the most say because the government can actually actively turn away tourists. Okay, and say this area, sorry, closed for tourism, no tourism at all, and then the rest of you just too bad, find somewhere else to destroy. Okay, so amount of control is the other one. Okay, understanding amount of control, right? Different priorities. Okay, ultimately, when you're looking at stakeholders, it's not one, it's a group of five, and when they all interact at the same time, they all want something for themselves. So when your priority is different, right, it's always going to be challenging to negotiate. Okay, and although you can say then, but Mr. Koh, you mentioned earlier on that the government has the ultimate say. That is true, but as a government, would you really want to have to come out and say no all the time? If you keep saying no, what are you doing to your tourism development? You're actually negating it and you're going to put it on storage. Okay, for how long? Right? In the very first place, why do you want to do this? There must be a purpose, there must be some profit driven or some developmental goal that you want to achieve. So you're trying to use tourism for it. Right? So it's a trade off that all five groups have to work together with. Okay? So the example that ends off this area here is the Isle of Man example. Now, Isle of Man is a island in the British Isles. It's got nothing except for endless amount of winding roads. So on the normal day, right, there's almost no tourism to talk about the Isle of Man. But because it has got copious amount of long winding roads, it actually holds a very famous motorcycle race. It's called Isle of Man TT, right? Uh, it's massive. Okay, it's like you have an F1 weekend in Singapore. Okay, so the roads are closed and everything comes to a grinding halt, and the island is bombarded with thousands and thousands of tourists. Okay, here to watch this. Okay, so think of it like yeah, like F1 in Singapore. Okay, why is it local being? Because the island itself isn't very big, and the route that this our man TT takes is actually winding around the entire island. So when you're having a race, right, what does it mean? You don't have many roads that are not being used for the race. So it is road closure, you know. So think about it. Road closure is one big problem, right? In Singapore, where we have the F1, when we close the roads in the CBD, basically it comes to a grinding halt. Okay, and it has to be held on the weekends because can you imagine closing the circuit, our F1 circuit, which runs through the central business district during the weekdays, where everybody still needs to go to work, right? The pandemonium that we created is what you see in our men, because they have nowhere else to go. So the locals suffer great inconvenience and also suffer massive noise pollution. Okay, so are the locals happy about this? Not really. Are there other things that our man can do? Okay, so you take a look at where our man is, right? Actually, our man is in the perfect place. It is in the middle, right, of where you will find Ireland, in Ireland itself, and then the UK itself. So it's right in the middle here. So we can attract tourists from all these areas. Sorry, so my arrow is the wrong direction. All these areas is very short ride only. But what do you have to attract if you're not talking about the Alman TT, right? So this is the general landscape that they have. They have karst landscape. Okay, karst limestone landscape, which is pretty, which is interesting, which can be developed. But are they willing to do this? Okay, is the government, are the other four stakeholders, or if you add the government, are all five stakeholders willing to pivot to this new development? Okay, so this is the case study of our man. If you just go into YouTube and type our man TT, right, you will you will be bombarded with videos after videos of motorcycle racing. Very exciting. It's normally a weekend as well, but the inconvenience that's caused to the locals is massive. Okay, so with that, I will stop here. This concludes the section 3.1 and 3.2 of topic 3. Okay, so catch you in the next topic video.